Hey everyone, thought I'd do a little bit of a different video today, different location. We are actually on holiday, seeing family down south. Um, so Happy New Year to everybody who's celebrating. Merry Christmas and all that. One of the things that we find whenever we're traveling is we see so many fakes. And the problem that so many people have, you don't have this problem in the United States, or you don't have this problem in Canada, is the sheer quantity of fakes. And you think, well, you see a lot of posts online, this person must be crazy, buying the cards with the serrated edges. But I'm going to see if I can show you what we see on screen here. But the fakes that we see when we travel, they're everywhere. And, they're behind glass. There's this perception that you have to keep, your Pokemon packs behind glass and encased, and they're absolutely proxy cards. They're fakes, right? And there's like high-end stores down here, down south in South America. They're selling these fakes, and they're asking for really high prices. And there's the people here, they're paying for these packs. You can see that people have bought these packs. Hopefully, well, not hopefully at all, but people have bought these packs. And hopefully it was not people who were expecting to have real, authentic Pokemon cards. So, be really thankful that you don't have to experience this quantity of fakes where you live in the United States, in Canada. You just don't face it. But down, like when we were traveling in Europe, same thing. Fakes everything, everywhere. When we were traveling in, where was the other country? We're traveling Colombia. Fake Pokemon cards everywhere. And it's sad. I mean, at one point, was a couple years ago, we were given a gift. And the gift was a whole stack of Pokemon cards. And at the time, Kai was very adept at spotting fakes. And he had, he got the gift and was smiling. And he was just, looking at me like, yeah, fakes. He knew it right away, but unfortunately it was a gift, so you can't really, hey, these are no good, these are fake cards. So, be thankful, wherever you are, that you can find authentic cards. It's kind of unfortunate. You see in other places, they just don't have the opportunities to buy the cards. And someone was telling me that, well, why is there so many eBay sales of higher than what you can buy it locally in the United States or in Canada? Why do international buyers spend so much more on stuff from eBay Canada or eBay United States? It's that reason. You cannot source authentic cards reliably in most countries. I think it's a little easier in the UK because they have their own Pokemon Center, but truthfully, I think there's a real challenge sourcing authentic cards anywhere except the United States, Canada, Japan, of course. I assume China is going to get better, but China was always the source of so many of these unauthentic cards. So we're going to see in 2024 what happens to the market. We recently purchased our first Chinese card. It was a promo card, but normally that would be unheard of. Normally you get Pokemon cards from China and they're not authentic. We'll see how they change the market. And we have authentic Spanish cards. We've picked up some in Spain at some point. We were at a real LGS and they knew what they're talking about. But so many of the places that just sell cards, toy stores, even those stupid mall shops that have the expensive American products, or as you see on TV, they're selling fake Pokemon cards. It doesn't make any sense. But I hope you guys be thankful for access to true Pokemon cards. I hope you guys are having a good time collecting. We've been thinking a lot about our collecting goals, kind of been talking, and we're going to open some packs. We brought some Shiny Treasure EX down. We're going to open some packs when we have some downtime. So far it's been like constant move. It took us more than 24 hours door to door to get where we were going, and boy, were we tired. One of the things that we've also had is we're away, right? Our store is essentially shut down. But I want to thank you guys who are continuing to put in the orders. I'm contacting people as they put in an order and saying, hey, I won't be able to ship this until Jan 9th. Is that okay? I won't be able to ship this until later. Is that okay? And most people are very, very cool with that. So I really appreciate you when you're ordering and it doesn't have to ship right away. But of course, if you're a store, if you have customers and the customers are making order, don't ever make them wait. If you have to wait 3 or 4 days before you can ship something, you're not being a good store. I never want to order from a store and then see no response whatsoever. Sometimes when I order singles from a couple of shops in Canada, I'll put the order in and I'll just wait. And I won't even get like a shipment notification. And sure, it's going in bubble mailer and sending me, oh, that we sent it. It doesn't add anything to the order. But waiting a few days for basically in limbo, not knowing what's happening, not knowing if your order was received. Well, obviously it's received, but not knowing it was shipped. There's a few times I've had to email. It's been like 2 weeks, and I would like be impatient, like, did you guys get this order? And a few times it would be like, oh, no, we didn't send this yet. And then they send it. A few times I'd email someone after a few weeks. This is not a few days. After a few weeks, did you get my order? And then the next day it would like show up. So yes, they shipped it. Yes, they got the order. Yes, they mailed it, except no communication. So if you're getting into the Pokemon selling, I think that's a huge piece of it. You got to communicate with your customers. I had a phone call. I was in Orlando, still in transit down south here. And I was in Orlando. Yes, and Orlando is not south from where we are. And I got a phone call from a grandfather. And the grandfather was looking to establish good collecting hygiene with his 8-year-old grandsons. So he wanted to know information about how to protect the cards. So we went through the basics of like penny sleeves. We went through the basics of like ETB sleeves. And, if you're playing, true playing sleeves, you can't really play with ETB sleeves. They're not the best for shuffling, etc. So you have to go with the Dragon Shield is probably the best ones for playing. But, I walked him through that. I talked him out of, they had the 3-ring binders, so I kind of had to talk him out of the 3-ring binders. And I could make a sale, right? I was away. There was no sale I could make that can help this grandfather out. But as a seller, I communicated what he needs to do. I communicated that if he needs to get a binder, he should. Truthfully, I have good top-loading binders, but I don't have good side-loading binders. So I'm like, order from Amazon. Those are the side-loading binders that you need to get. I gave him some instructions on top loaders. So if the kids, if these 8-year-olds are going to be flipping these cards around and they're not for play or they don't have a play sleeve on, the recommendation I gave him was, pick up a couple of top loaders for the best hits, for the top cards. And me, myself, whenever there's like a reverse hollow or a hollow, I sleeve everything. Anything that shines, it can be scratched, I sleeve it, penny sleeve. And that's just what I do, and that's the advice I gave him. A lot of people don't even collect reverse hollows, so it's personal preference. But if you have something shiny like a reverse hollow, I definitely sleeve it. I don't want scratches on my reverse hollows, and those things are probably the scratch the most out of any card that you can pull out of a Pokemon pack, especially the Sword and Shield ones. They're fragile pieces. So yeah, that's the thing. If you're running a store, over communicate, tell people what to expect. I get so many questions around how do you pack your cards? What do you mean when it's near mint? Why does this one doesn't have a near mint? And just FYI, on my store, all my singles are near mint unless otherwise stated. So if it's light play, I mark it as light play. If it's moderate play, I mark it as moderate play, etc. So, I have to. It's intricate. Selling Pokemon cards is intricate, and a lot of the time you're selling to people who are new to the hobby. So I just have to recommend, over communicate, be great at customer service, be understanding when stuff goes wrong, be ready to take the hit as well. Sometimes things don't go right, and you as a store have to handle it. So that's my instruction. Have a happy new year. Be thankful that you have access to good Pokemon cards and you're not dealing with the trials and tribulations of many other countries who only have proxies. If you're a store, if you're going to be selling stuff, assume that you have to be good at customer service. Assume stuff sometimes goes wrong, and do your best to avoid it. But when it happens, make it right. Don't be a dick. So, like and subscribe, guys. Cheers.